Yeah, finally. Thank you very much.
Finally,
Thank
welcome.
you. Good afternoon. How are you
Good
doing
afternoon.
today?
All well and
Everyone,
good. And you?
good.
Our Niel.
Merry Christmas in advance.
Same to you. Same to you. Same to you. How have you been?
I'm fine, thank you. So where are we spending Christmas?
Well, it all depends on you. You tell us, drop the location, we'll be there. You just drop
No,
the
no,
location.
you should send us an invite. You should send us an
Um,
invite to come and enjoy Christmas
well, maybe we could do Christmas with you first, then I do New Year. Maybe.
from the new year, right?
So you do Christmas first, then I'll do New Year.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Sorry, we are a little behind schedule because I was caught up with some things, and I just had to use where I am currently to get the show running. So, so sorry for keeping you waiting, and we'll kick start right away. You're welcome to the Millennial Teacher Show, my journey, my story series, where teachers get to share their journeys and their stories in the education space. So today we have a very special guest, and I'll be reading his bio right now. So thank you everyone for joining. And I know it's going to be a very interesting conversation. So invite your friends, tell your friends to come and join us so that we'll learn together. All right, thank you. Okay. All right, so let me just quickly read your bio.
All
So
right.
Akin Soyina, the director and founder of Learning Spree, an educational development of an award-winning teacher, tech strategist, STEAM enthusiast, school ed, school growth strategist, teacher, and advocate for teacher-student connection. A graduate of educational management and primary education, a certified Google and Microsoft educator, amongst others. Akintunde has been at the helm of school leadership for 8 years and counting, helping to start and grow schools into formidable and international standards, into formidable and international standard learning spaces within these years. Akintunde has also taught at various levels of the educational spectrum, spanning a period of 12 years professionally. Akin teaches with a purpose to capture moments that would inspire and showcase the teaching profession in a new and different light to his students, fellow teachers, would-be teachers, and the world at large. His visionary perspective and intentional way of teaching has earned him opportunities to speak, train, and help integrate STEAM and technology into everyday teaching and learning, and working extensively with other teachers and educational institutions around the globe. Akintunde presently works as the school head of Sweet Jesus Ambassador Schools, an international Christian school in Lagos, Nigeria, an educational strategist, consultant, and trainer. His radical approach to learning using creativity, exper experiential learning, STEAM, and other 21st century skills has endeared him to his students and colleagues, ultimately christening him with nicknames he is still getting used to, like Mr. Tech Savvy, STEAM Doctor, Nigerian Ron Clark, amongst others. Okay, now. In addition to being a teacher, Akintunde is a photographer, a cyclist, a blogger, a dancer, and bibliophile. More so, he never fails to open the eyes of the students to the creative world that lies just beyond the walls of the classroom. All right, So thank you very much. We welcome Mr. Akintunde Akinsoya today, aka
Thank you so
Edogeli
much.
and me. Thank you
My
very much.
pleasure.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you
It's
for
an honor being here
joining
also.
us.
My
Thank you for
pleasure.
accepting to share your journey and your stories. So
And
let's start right away.
okay.
Tell us, how did the journey start with you? Tell us from
Good.
the very, very beginning.
How the journey started. Okay. So basically I went into the university. I studied education quite all right, but it didn't start that way. So like every um, young guy around the 90s and early 2000s, you wanted to get out of school and then either get a bank job, get a bank job, or yeah, mostly a bank job. So you see a lot of people going economics, banking and finance, business administration. So you wanted to either get a bank job or go into business and just make money, start a family. And that was just the mindset of every young guy around that era, early 90s and the late 90s and early 2000s. And of course, that was the mindset our parents had groomed us with. So you finish school, so you're either, oh, sorry about that, my son just. So you finish school and we're either going to be a doctor, engineer, lawyer, what have you. So being a teacher was out of the question. That was totally out of the question. So, well, for me, it started with hanging out with kids and just being comfortable around kids. It might sound cliche, but of course, for a lot of time, when I am privileged to be in an interview and then we'll get trying to employ or recruit teachers, you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, why do you want to teach?" I want to teach because I love kids. I didn't want to teach because I love kids at the initial start. I was just good with kids. I love being around them. So I had an aunt whose husband was out of the country at that time. So before all of these japa, the husband was out of the country. He practically lived outside the country, and she had four kids, and the only one in the country taking care of those kids. The oldest was just in primary four then. So I was always available. At first, he drafted me to come. Okay, can you please come in and help take their homework? They had an house help, but she wasn't always home. So you could just come in, take their homework, and then leave. So I was being paid, but of course. But over time, because I was so good with the kids, I would, after homework, I would feed them. It just got, complicated over time. The house help left. So I'd be the one to pick up the kids from school, get them ready. So by the time the mom was coming home at the end of the day, very late, the kids were already in bed. I'd put them to bed. I would have made food for the mom, I was just practically taking care of the whole house, like a nanny and all sorts. The kids wanted to always be with me. So even my friends around the community were already calling me, I had nicknames, Baba Baby, because the kids would always, and it was always embarrassing. I would want to hang out with my friends, and then they would want to come with me. Can we? And then I would have about three kids trailing me. So it was even uncomfortable for my friends also. So, but of course, because I was so cool with them, it just, grew on me. And then I think my parents, my mom especially, saw this. She saw this, I was cool with kids. Then something else happened again. So there was this rich man in my area. He was practically the richest man. Let me put it that way. Very, very rich. This man was very, very rich. Sorry, I don't know why this stand keeps messing up. So this man was rich, very rich in the area. And he was respected in the area. Like he was revered also. People like, this man, So I just got a call from him one day that would I be willing to take his children for extra classes, like when they come home, he wants me. So I was like surprised. Everyone was surprised. People I told, like, because apparently he doesn't associate with people around. He has his mansion walled off. He can't even see inside. No one goes inside. So it was a surprise around the community that this man would approach me. He would, his driver would come get me at home, bring me to his place. When I'm done with the kids, the driver takes me back. So I was like a superstar around the area, like people would even practically come to me and ask me, how does the inside of that house look like? So it just got me thinking, I was good with it, fine, and I was getting a lot of money. He was paying me so well, so well that, and I was with him for years. He was paying me so well. I almost forgot about school at a point. Like, you're making money, and so of course my parents had to draw the line. Come on, you have to go back to school. So when I was trying to fill my JAM form, it now dawned on me, what do I want to do? I didn't want to be a doctor. I knew I just wanted to do something that because I was in the sciences, I just wanted to do something, creative. I just wanted to be myself. But I also come from a home where I don't know how to put it. The mindset was you have to be a doctor, a lawyer, and all of that stuff. When I was in primary school, even right now, I could draw so well. Man, I could draw portraits, I could paint, it was almost bordering on being a genius in that area. But my father would never want that. He sees me drawing, he tears it. He was always angry, you should be reading, you should be reading, you should be reading, you should be reading. But I loved making. Of course, my mom understood. So she would get me papers and things, and then would say, oh, where your dad is, I just pack it, put it somewhere. So I was always hiding there. But my dad didn't want to see that. But I was so good with that. I entered the competition in Lagos State then, was all over Lagos State. I came second, all over the state. My dad didn't even see it as anything. It's just drawing and painting. He just dismissed it. My mom was kind of happy, but my dad didn't even bat an eyelid. So I could not go that area of, maybe being an artist or, something like that. So when I was going to fill my germ, my dad was like, oh, sciences, you should just go for sciences, you should be a doctor, all of this engineer or something. But thank God for my mom, she kind of understood me. And then she called me aside and like, you've been teaching this man's children for a long time now. And you've made quite a number, you've made a huge sum of money. Like, you have money already, would you consider going into teaching? Man, I just flared up like, no, I'm not going to teach, I was like, and then when my dad heard also, he was like, what are you telling him to do? What are you trying to tell him to do? My mom just kept, my mom always, she's quiet, she just kept quiet and all of that. For me, it wasn't that I didn't like teaching. I knew I was good with kids, and that was her argument also. You're good with kids, you work well with kids, and all of them. But it was just the fear of the unknown. And then we're hearing so many stories about teachers and even staying it. And then strike was really, really prevalent, especially with government teachers. Strike today, not being paid their salary. And then I see teachers around, and I didn't really, I couldn't really, connect with the whole outlook and all of that. But thank God for today, we have a lot of mentors, and if it had been this era, this time right now, I would never have thought right. I would just have I want to do teaching. But then I didn't really have anyone to look up to, and the few teachers I could really see around were not really, that in that space for me. So I just filled, I think I filled economics, yes. So I said, okay, I said economics. I didn't want to do, my dad was so bent on time, but I didn't want to do that. I just wanted so my mind was, okay, let me just do economics. When I'm out, at least I could work in a bank, then resign later and go do my art stuff or do something and all of that. So I did that. I applied. But when JAMB and admission came out, the school said there was no spot for me for economics, that I should consider that. Okay, so my mom had a professor friend in the school, so she approached me, oh, can you help my son get? And he was like, oh, let's try his best also, but that there's an open spot in the Faculty of Education if I would take you. My mom was all smiles, like, when he's like, I told you, this is like the heavens walking, but she didn't say, but I saw it, like, I was like, and I just want to spend another year at home. I've been at home for a while now, remember making the money and all of that. So I just want to spend, and some of my friends were like in their second year. So I just want to stay home. So I was like, okay, I'll take it. Then I asked again, like, okay, I heard that you could move faculty in your second year in that school if you had, good, your GP looks strong and all of that. Yes, I was told there that I could do that. So I told my mom, okay, fine, I'll do this education, but come second year, I'm moving, I'm changing. And if that doesn't happen, I don't mind, going back and start all over again, another school, write JAMB and all of that. So my mom agreed, we all agreed, so I went in. First year, I don't know, I just like it. I don't know. I just don't know. Attending lectures, education, blah, 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 blah. So second year came, it was time to now, change over. But I don't know, something just told me to, I just felt comfortable. I felt comfortable. And right about that time, I came across, I read a lot. I love reading. I love reading. I love reading. So, and the internet was just coming in also, and, so I could access the internet and just, random teachers around the world, it wasn't really much then, but, I could find some teachers around. Then I came across Ron Clark. It was an article, and then I think the Ron Clark movie was just being released around that time, or so I came across the Ron Clark article and learned there was a movie. I think the movie had been released prior to that time. I think he was just starting his academy in the US then. So I think that article was, about him and how he started. So I watched the movie. I was really impressed at what he did, what the movie portrayed and all of that. And then seeing him, going into the private sector, what he was going to do and what he was starting. So I really loved that. And I was like, okay, I think I could be this man, I could be someone like this, try to effect change and, just try to make things happen around me. And because I loved kids also, I was, okay, fine. I think I can actually see where this road takes me, this education, this road in education. So I finished, educational management and all, I finished. So when I finished school also, now dawned on me like, this is Nigeria. This is not Ron Clark's story. And Nigeria is different from the US. And of course, Ron Clark has a different life. I have a different life also. Yeah, so it dawned on me like, now you're done. Do your Ron Clark story now. And that was when I like, God, I don't think this teaching is for me. That was what I told myself, because I was super scared. I was super scared. And then a lot of my friends, even while we were in school, we weren't always so bold to say, when we were gathered, everyone, what faculty? It was always hard to say education. So I was taking a course in the social sciences, economics. We had to, for my faculty, my department, educational management and foundation, we had to take some borrowed courses. from other departments and faculties also. So I was taking a broad course in the economics department, so social sciences. So when people ask, what do you do, what course are you in for? What, I just tell them economics. I never mention education because people would look at it like, guy, teacher, and then in school, because I was kind of fly. Like when I say fly, I love dressing well, Eugene sneakers, and I love gadgets also. I would buy, gadgets, go to Ikeja, buy gadgets, bring them to school to sell. So a lot of friends, knew me for that. Even right till this point, people will still call, oh, can you recommend a phone? Do you have a phone we can buy? Do you still sell phones? And do you still sell this and blah, blah, blah. So I was fly. Everyone knew me in school, jeans, sneakers. I was always rocking and all. So it was hard to say, then we believe those in education, then we are those who tried to get admission but could not get admission and then finally had to, go into education. Or people who were just like, I don't know, like, sorry to say, the mindset is different now. But then, it was like people who really didn't have a future, like who really didn't have a plan. Like, what the heck? What would you even think of education that year? Those periods. That was the mindset. Like, are you out of your senses? So I would never mention education. So only a few close friends knew I was in education. But even those, they would still, make jest of me, taunts. It was coming from a good place for them. We're just joking, but it didn't sit down well with me. Yeah. Teacher Oko, sorry to those who don't understand, Yoruba means, teacher Oko, village teacher, so it didn't sit well with me. So I was so rebellious, even in school. I was very, very rebellious, even in school. I would cut classes because I wanted to just be the hard guy. Like, come on, this is not because of course my department, I saw all of you like, come on, the dressing. It's just like the educational department. There was a sort of unwritten rule about how you should dress, so for me, I was just so rebellious, my dressing would stand out, my jean, I wanted to just be like the guys in social sciences, arts, I just wanted to be fly. So, but of course, it was really getting at me, teacher, teacher, that's the way they say teacher, I wasn't really cool. So so when I left school, even with all of the Ron Clark stuff and all, the reality of life just, dawned, settled on me. Like, now I'm a man, the first son of my parents. They would expect me to, sorry, they would expect, as a son now, African home now, you bring home money, you have siblings, I just told myself, no, teaching is not for me. So I left teaching, had an educational degree. So I think the first thing I did, because I love photography, so which a lot of people didn't know, about me. I was a professional photographer for a very long time, for not very long, but for a number of years. I just put teaching aside. So I was a professional photographer, and I was really, climbing, up the stairs. I was really, I was doing well, but there was just this ache in my heart. Like I knew, like as humans, we were all here for a period. We can't all be on earth forever. And I always like to, volunteer, give out. I'm that kind of person. So it was so strong on my heart. I didn't want my life to just go unnoticed. Yeah, let me put it that way. So we lost a friend around that time also. We lost a friend. So it just came on me. And then right about that time again, we lost someone very close, a family, not really a family member, but very close to the family. So I would call him a family. He was just young, had just gotten married, had a child, the first child, and then he died, just something just, and he just died. And so it just, shook me to my roots. Like, well, why am I here? What's the essence of even all of this? Like trying to make money, trying to do all of this. Why am I here? How would I even be remembered? Like, I just wanted to leave a mark, I wanted to contribute. I wanted to leave a mark, like really contribute to something, like just leave a mark and all of that. So the whole photography thing wasn't really, you know, wasn't really going down well for me. Around that time, I was really lost. I was really lost around that time. So it's just like the story of the Israelites, like, what you would, how they were just in the wilderness for you, you're a Christian, for all those years and, knowing where they were still going. And then my mom knew that also. I think she was just always want, I thought maybe she just wanted to be a teacher, but I think she saw it in me that I could really, really make it as a teacher, really stand out and all of that. So I left that photography thing. Then I had some friends. I had some friends who were really, making money also there. So I was like, okay, maybe if I had enough money, I could be a philanthropist and give out, give people, help people, and that way I could leave a mark in the world, help my family. So I approached these guys. We're very close friends. We go way back. We go way back. We go way back. So I approached these friends, one in particular. So I told him I wanted to. Well, actually, what he was doing was all these let's call it by Yahoo, all those stuff. So I really wanted to do it. Then I was really big on it. Like I was like, I wanted to make money and give out and all. So I remember I went to him. It was in the city of Ibadan. I left Lagos. I went down to him. We spoke. We discussed, and then he agreed to train me and all of that, which I agreed to. And I was really happy. I'll start making money very soon. And so I started the training. So I was 1 week into it. Yeah, I don't know, 2 weeks. I was with him, and then he called me and told me something that I had to do, to really, make it big, and like he was making and all of that. And so when he told me that, I wasn't happy because that wasn't the way I wanted to go, and it wasn't what I really wanted. It wasn't what I really wanted. So I told him no, that I won't be able, but of course he should just give me time to think. So I just ran. I ran back to Lagos. So I went back home. So I was really worried. I was just at home. And then my mom would like, well, what are you doing? Are you not doing your photography again? I was like, no, I still like it, but there's something like I'm not really myself. Like I don't know. I'm not really myself. Then she said, okay, you did education in school for your university. Why not just, explore that route just for some time? And even if you don't like it also, you can just leave. And then until you discover yourself. But of course, you're trying to discover yourself and all. So I was like, okay, good. Let me just try and see. Maybe let me just try this road. So I went into teaching. Very bad experience, very bad pay, some very, very, I don't want to, bosses that were not really. So, of course, I was liking the interaction with the children. And then it was a small thing, but I was, I was making good traction. I was making good traction. You know, the kids loved me, their parents loved me, and I was finding fulfillment. Like the pay was bad, you know, but I was just happy. Like, you know, I would wake up feeling blue, like no money and all of that. But then being with the kids, it was just fantastic. I was happy and I was just like, okay, I think this could I went back to the drawing board. I revisited the wrong class story and then began to sketch out in Nigeria who were really, making it. Like, not necessarily big money, but we're like, making a change. And of course, it isn't what we have right now, but we had some then. So I was really, really, really searching, I would see trainings, I would go to hear a lot of these um, people speak. Some I met in their um, early years. Let me put it early years. When I say early years, when they were just starting out also. I met David Obiayon, the small teacher. He's on Instagram. I met Kemi also. I met all of these people, not physically, but they were just starting out then. It was just people. I saw the confidence. I saw the confidence they were showing, like, and I was like, these people are young, like myself also, and so I was just seeking out a lot of teachers. The teacher body to Mary Senami. I was just seeing a lot of these people. So I was watching, and I was also, consciously, intentionally interacting with them. Send them hi. I was just like understanding. Now they are big, they are all big teachers. But then, I like the confidence. What really got me was the confidence they were all showing. They were not afraid, to say this is what we do and this is who we are. And then I saw some other school owners who had started out as teachers and all of. So I just told myself, hey, come on, if these people can, be this confident and be who they are, then I think I can be this also. And then I think I can be a successful teacher too. Like a teacher who goes on vacation, who has all he wants, who never lacks, who just gets all. I think I can. So I think then I like, okay, if I have to be this teacher, then I think I have to create a brand or create a space for myself where I could grow. So that means I do not have to copy someone else's journey. I do not have to take on another man's trust. There are millions and millions of problems in the world. So you just have to discover where you fit in and where you can provide a solution. So I just told myself, okay, I can be a teacher, be one that is different, and also look for an area where I can, really contribute to the space, to the teaching space, and also be like an inspiration to younger people coming also. And my fear at that moment was, would I be losing some of the things I love doing? I love so many things. I love reading. I just love things that are usually not related or put with teachers, like
People don't see teachers doing those things. I love a lot. I love doing fun things. I love gadgets. I love techno. So you see me, you see a lot of gadgets on me. I love dressing, you know, kind of stylishly. When I started out, people would say, "Oh, why are you dressing? You're not dressing like your teacher." You know, some in a good way, some in a, in an offensive way. Like, we expect you to not just wear penciled trousers as a teacher. We expect you to wear, that these normal trousers, So, but I didn't want to, you know, make that my identity. I wanted to just be who um I wanted to be my natural self and still love all the things I love. So, and I just realized, so I think that was why Ron Clark really got to me. So I saw how Ron Clark was really creating a space, not just being an educator, but bringing everything he loves and that the children loves into the school and into the classroom. So it wasn't just about you being a teacher. It was about creating a connection with the children you teach. So it makes the teaching easier. So I love dancing. I love music. I love movies. I love video games. I just love it. I love a lot of things like that. So I realized I could bring all of this into my teaching. Yeah, I could bring all of this into it would still define me as a teacher, but it would not make me less of a teacher. And doing this over time, I saw it endeared me to the children. They loved me like love, 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 So because I could speak their language, so from with teenagers, with preschoolers, I could just speak anyone's language. So if you're a teenager or I don't know, older, and you love video games, I'm that guy, I'm that cool teacher to come to. You love movies, the latest movie showing, I'm that teacher to talk about. You want to talk about rap, music, or any kind, you want to talk about songs, things. I'm that teacher you would want to come to. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I could be a teacher and still be myself. And, while being that, I could also make the children, build that connection with the children I want to teach, and even kind of influence some other teachers around me if, I do this. And so I just like going to do this. And I stood in front of the mirror because like I said, I read a lot. So, I just read, I read, I'm a voracious reader. I stood in front of the mirror and I told myself that this teaching is going to be what you will do, and you will make something out of this teaching. Whatever you want for yourself, you're going to make it out of. I told myself that, and I left that mirror that day with the mindset and the conviction that I was going to make it big. So all I just did after then was to just begin to improve on myself. I began to improve on myself, take trainings on the study, and then I was seeing a lot of teachers growing too. I was seeing a lot of teachers grow. So it gave me the boost I needed. So I didn't really have that mentorship while my earlier years, but I saw a lot of teachers growing, at that time also. So, I mentioned David at that time. So he had this thing going with Dara then. So I saw what they were doing. I saw, maybe I saw a lot of other people, like, I was like encouraged, like, oh, look at these young people doing this. Then, of course, I could do my own thing too, and, just, make something out of. So, and that was how I started. And then STEAM was also coming into light around that time also. It was just around 2012 thereabout when Georgette Yachman, that's the researcher who discovered STEAM, he started in the US. So it was just coming into light around that time. So I stumbled upon a research article by Georgette Yachman, the research founder for STEAM, and I saw what she was doing. She had a degree in textile, and all. She didn't start out as a coder or like a scientist or anything, but I saw what she was doing with STEAM. And because STEAM called out to me, because one, like I said earlier, I was so big into tech. I love technology, like big on tech. I love gadgets. So it spoke out to me. Remember, I said when I started out, in my younger days, I could draw. I can still draw and paint, but I was so big. So STEAM just called out to me, like, these were things that I was, that were like my core strength. So I just like, okay, why not just look into STEAM, research how I could bring it into my classroom and then help, my children, the children I teach, help them along and all of that. So I started, with this, and I saw how it changed the children I was teaching. And I started teaching in some low income areas there. So, and I saw the effect, I saw the change. A lot of teachers I remember one of the days I started teaching, I wanted to just incorporate it, but there wasn't resource, but of course you had to improvise, I had to. So I know I had this broken down laptop then, really broken down. Then I'll bring it to the class and use it to teach the children. And there was this Microsoft service then. I don't know if Encounter. A lot of us would know it. Those of us who use Microsoft then, XP and all, Encounter. So I would, have Encounter, show Encounter had videos, audio, picture, it was just like an encyclopedia, a digital or everything. So I would use it to teach the children would gather around, would make things, construct, and then teachers would pass. And, it was literal, like not something that was said behind. I saw it. They would, do this and they would say, some would speak in local dialects, Yoruba and others, and look at this one, he wants to kill himself, bringing laptop to the class. They would say all of those things, but because I knew what I wanted, I knew where I wanted to be, and I knew what I wanted to create. I didn't let that stop me. I didn't let that stop me. I just continued. I continued of, create things, create a curriculum, and I didn't really have the knowledge then, the expertise, but because I just was, of course, I'll get a bit from the internet and all, but because I just wanted to create something, I just wanted to stand out. I'll do these things, and the children loved it. Their parents loved it, and so my first breakthrough. Let me put it that way. Let me put it that way. My first breakthrough. So I was in this low income school, not really low income like that, but of course I believe people would understand when I say, the pay wasn't so good and all of that. So and that's also the rule of life, which I just quickly want to chip in, like, please, we should not look down on anyone in life. Like, don't look down on people. Like, so I got a really big lesson there that has always stayed with me. So there was this child I was teaching. So I never really knew anything about the family, but I just saw anytime I, get to meet the mom, there was just this aura around the mom, like, like an aura, like you tell them this person shouldn't be here. Like, you would see some people and tell, you're not supposed to have been born in Nigeria. You should have been, there was this aura around this woman. Like, I could not place it. I never knew anything about the family. But I knew that there was something about this woman. But of course, I didn't let that. So I was just teaching the child, she was part of the children in my class and all. So I think I was with that school for 6 years. Yeah, I was with that school for 6 years. So when I wanted to move, I felt, oh, it was time for me to leave. You know, there are so many things. I just thought it was time. So this woman approached me and told me that I love, you know, what you do, and I do not want to um, miss you or let you live my life. That was the way you would think we were lovers, the way she said it. So apparently, this woman had come into that environment. I think she was running away from some, I think, family issues. You know how you want to just hide and let no one see you, and you know just be away from the world. I think so. That was how she came into that community. But for no one knew that. I didn't know that. So she told me she has a brother who has a school, a big school in Abuja, that she wants me to work in that school. Like, I just have to work there. Like, you know, I was just like, you know, I was happy too. Like, you know, my mindset was, man, I am going to Abuja, you know. And that time, Abuja was, if you hear people living in Abuja, you just automatically, you know, build the mindset or have that notion that it's the happening place. So I was really excited, Abuja and all of that. So I think this woman really, you know, raised the stake for me. Like, told me, like, not directly that, man, you have what it takes to, you know, work in the top leagues and be, you know, out there and all of that. So I was really excited about the Abuja stuff. We had, you know, settled everything, had done the interview, you know, they were helping out with an apartment and all of that. So I think this woman, apparently in her excitement, you know, told another friend about me, about what I was doing, about me, what I was doing. She told another friend. So this friend had a woman, a bank manager, who was really, you know, so because this bank manager was born into a family of educationists, her father was a professor and all of that. She was going to start a school. The school was being built around that time and all of that. But she was running a summer camp for kids. So I think words got to her, and then this woman approached me and, okay, can you just come work with my summer camp, and we need help and all. Remember, I had packed my things. I was, you know, Abuja was calling, or it was time to go to Abuja. So I worked with this woman while I was, you know, making arrangements for Abuja and all of that, you know, during the summer camp. It was a high profile one. You had children of ex-presidents. No, it was a very high profile campaign thing. So, but I was there. So at the end of the camping stuff, the woman now approached me and like, oh, I love what you do, and I am starting a school, and I would love that you come on board, you know, and work with me. I said, oh, no, I'm sorry. I already have something going for me, moving down to Abuja, and, you know, it's all settled and all of that and all of that. So, but this woman really wanted to have me. So she brought her friend who, like, works in schools in Lagos. You know, I don't want to mention names, but she was so big in, you know, a well-known name in Lagos, and came down. So, and then I remember we met at an hotel, a reception. They, you know, they hosted me, and, you know, highlighted all the good things I would gain working with them, you know, all of that. So, you know, but still my mind was still on, you know, I had to just go to Abuja. But then towards the end of the meeting, so the woman said something, that what if we pay you what you will be earning in Abuja? Like, what if you get that or more? So that got me thinking. Of course, while making my Abuja preparation, people had said, "Oh, Abuja is expensive. Housing is this is that, this is that." Oh, of course, people you would hear positive, negative. People would say, "Oh, you're going to spend all of your money in Abuja. You should not go. You should not." So I was getting diverse stories. I was getting diverse stories, about that. So when the woman said that, I was just like, instead of me going this far, and the school she was building was in Abeokuta in Ogun State, not in Lagos. So it was like, it's not even Lagos. So Abeokuta, Abeokuta is not well known like Lagos and all of that. So, but for her to be paying me this much, and I said, okay. Then she said, okay, to finally convince you, let me take you down to my school. The school was being built and set up around that time. So we went down to the school. So when I saw the school, it's one of the top schools in Abeokuta and Ogun State elementary school, So when I saw the school, I was like, whoa, wow. I just fell in love, and please, you should understand where I was coming from. I was coming from a low budget school, and then, all of a sudden I was being, elevated so high, like, it was just like from ground zero to 100, it was just like ground. So I saw the school, I was that person who used to teach with a rundown laptop, and everybody would start, kill yourself. Dude. Now I was going to be in a school where you have smart boards, like I was like, so I just like, I'll take this, I'll let the Abuja thing go. So I just took up that job, in Abeokuta, and I think from that moment, at that point, I told myself, I didn't just tell myself, I told a close friend, a colleague, I don't know if he's on here right now. I told him, we are going to make it big from this moment right now. We're going to make it big. And that was what I remember. I remember that statement clearly, that we are going to make it big. Not because they were paying us. It wasn't like the pay was the best in the world. No. But the mindset was clear, the direction was clear, and I knew I had what it took to, and then I knew what to do. Yes, let me put it that way. I knew what to do. Like, now it's rebranding. The language now is rebranding. I knew I was going to brand myself, sharpen my sword, and be that exceptional teacher. And so from that moment on, it was a new terrain now. It was a new terrain because, trust me, it was a new terrain. The kids in that school or that environment were different from where I was coming from. These were, kids born into privileged lives, homes, the parents were exposed and all. So, I knew I had to up the game for myself. I had to, do more than I was doing before. So I was very, very intentional about my growth. I was intentional before then, but at that point, I was like, it was like a fever. It was like a fever that had, taken over me. Like, it was like I was possessed with, making a change, making myself, so big, and not just big, but making this profession, the teaching profession, making it heard. Like, it was a fever. So I was all out, soaking up all the information, retraining, relearning, just doing stuff, and trying to make myself better. So from that point on, I think it was just, for me just climbing the ladder. I became the school head for that school. You know, I moved on. Another school approached me to come because I started that school with the owner. So, and she was not really. She was coming from the banking sector into the educational sector. So she was relying a lot on my capabilities as an educator. You know, she had the resources, but I was there to make the resources work for us, and it worked. So in a few years, we had gone so high, you know, our names were on every lips in the city. And then I had other schools poaching, coming to me like, come, come and work, come and, you know, it was like magic, like what you did in that school, come and recreate it for us also. And so I think that was from that moment on, you know, it was just it was just the skies, you know, just to keep flying high and to keep you know, elevating. That was just the point for me. So that was how the story you know, started with me. But to cap it up, what really worked for me was the intention, was the intention I put into it. But I won't want to sound like a saint and say, oh, the intention for me at the start was, oh, I wanted to just teach children. I wanted them to be great. I wanted that for the children. But the intention for me at that time was to be successful, just make money. Because trust me, I was a young guy. I had to I had to make money. Something I didn't say, which is a bit personal, was during that time while starting out also. I was in a relationship then with a lady, and she had to break up with me because I was a teacher. It was just she, you know, the mom told her then that, you know, you cannot marry this guy. He's a teacher. And then of course maybe the mom wanted, I think blame the mom because of course it wasn't like teachers were being paid so well, or you know, we all know then now. So she had to, you know, she had to sever the link, the relationship, and all, you know. And I saw her get married to someone else, the mom, you know, and I was like, God, you know, I was broken heart, but it just fueled my intention that I wasn't going to leave the sector. I was going to make a success out of it. I was going to, you know, be rich. Let me put it that way. I was going to be rich as a teacher. So those were my um, initial fueling, you know, things that kindled the passion. So if anyone is having that, I won't. It's not wrong to want to make a life for yourself. It's not wrong to want the good things of life, to want to be able to drive a good car, live in a good house, provide for your family. So, you know, over the years, we have had teachers who, you know, we've been told to not run after these things, that our reward is in heaven. You know, over the years, we've been told, yes, yes, teaching is a ministry. That's what I know, that it's a noble profession. But what I tell myself, sorry to say, I might step on a few toes with this ideology, but it is something that I will always hold on to. So I see men of God who are also in this ministry like we are, to teaching. Theirs might just be a bit more profound in religion and all of that. But then I see men of God become successful. I see men of God, or, you know, teachers of the faith, let me use that, drive good cars, have private jets, you know, live in good houses. Their children are attend good schools, you know, all of that. So if we say teaching is a ministry and a noble profession, so I asked then, why out of all of these ministers, why do I have to be the only one to wait till heaven to reap my reward? It was wrong for me. So if men of God were living or are living their good life, working for God and being successful, and then if a Christian, the Bible says, "Where my feet steps, He will take it from me." So I just told myself, I have to be successful being a teacher. So the only thing is, what do I have to do to get there? I have to be successful. And I tell colleagues, and a lot of people have told me, oh, then okay, in the bid to getting your reward in heaven, when you grow old, then your students will come. I tell people, I don't want that. Yes, I want my students to appreciate me, which I have, seen over time. Some, send messages, oh, you're this. It's okay for me. But I don't want to get to a point in life where I am helpless and waiting for my old students to come visit me in my house and buy me some stuff. Wait, no way. I told myself I didn't want. I want to be in a position where I would help my students, even those who have left, and I want to be able to call them and say, hey guys, or hi, what's happening with you? I'm in a bit of fix. I want to be able to say, oh, then I'll send you this money or this. And that's what I want. So I relocated recently. So some of my old students who I have taught in the past, and because I miss them and all of that, and then some of them call their parents. So I was like, why not let's have a hangout? Let's hang out. All bills on me. The best place you can think of in the city, the poshest of the poshest. I am going to host all of you. Like, that's the kind of teacher I want to be. That's the kind of teacher. I am going to host all of you. All bills on me. You're going to eat, drink, all bills on me. That is it doesn't come cheap, but that is the kind of teacher and educator I want. I do not want to wait for these kids to grow up and come and I want to be in the position where they will bless me and appreciate me. Of course, people appreciate pastors. I help Baba Adeboye, the General Overseer of Redeemed. I hear people give him cars every time. Yes, and I hear he has a number of cars, like he just gives them out. That's the kind of educator I want to be. So I want to, be in my palace, let me put it out. Then my old students will come and still bless me. And if I feel I have more, I can still take out of that and give out to some other people who need it also. But I do not want to wait for them to come and gather or contribute money for me. No way. So I told myself, so when school leaders or I don't know, people in education, let me put it, say your reward is in heaven, or think of these children, they will come and bless you later. I sacrifice for these children more than anyone can even think about. But I am not doing it for them to come bless me later and contribute money for me. No, I'm just doing it to leave a mark in their life, be a positive impact, so that they can also pay it forward. That's just the way it has to be in life. So I want them to grow up and remember there was this cool teacher. So even if they are not teachers themselves, they will see teachers in the future, maybe their own children, and pay it forward and bless them and make things comfortable, or even have a school themselves and make the teachers in that school comfortable. Why? Because they would remember Mr. Akin. Oh, he was a fabulous teacher. He did not ask us for anything. He did not ask our parents for everything, but he was giving so much of himself. And they would still see me, which they saw like successful. A lot of my kids ask me, you know how children can be, Mr. Aki, are you really a teacher? Then I'll ask them, why? You don't behave like a teacher. Because the dressing, you know, I have had my kids in class. I remember when I bought my iPhone, I bought an iPhone. I bought iPhone 12. I bought it new. So when I brought it into class, you know how kids, because I'm so free with them, oh, you have a new phone now. You know, they took the phone and we're checking, iPhone 12. Oh, blah, 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 blah. How much did you buy? You know, and they keep me asking. One child actually asked, where did you get the money? The child asked, where did you get the money to buy this phone? Because of course they know it's expensive. Some of their parents have it, and of course, I smiled. I said, of course, I'm a teacher. I have to. But they were surprised. And then parents were sending me messages. Parents were sending me messages later, like in the night. Mr. Aki, the rich teacher. You know, of course, the children had gone home. Mr. Aki has a new iPhone 12. Mr. Aki this. Mr. Aki does that. So, you know how parents can be. Yes, Mr. Aki, you know. And then I see other parents tell themselves, like, leave Mr. Aki alone. No. He's a rich. You know, they have. That's what I want. Trust me. You know, I want. That was, you know, when I started, I told you. So, and that was what someone, Teacher Tosin is saying you bought iPhone 12. Yeah, of course I knew. The funny thing is, when I was going to buy this iPhone, I took a friend along. He works in the bank. So I was just like, guy, I want to get a new phone. Okay, he was with me. So I was like, guy, I had another phone I was using, a good phone, a Samsung, was very good. But I said, I need to get another phone because I was going to give out the Samsung I was using. I wanted to just bless someone with it. So he was just like, let's go. So we went into the market, Ikeja there. So he thought I was going to buy a used phone. So he was like, oh, I know this place. They sell used phone. Let's go there. And I said, no. I have a place. I checked them out online. They sell new phones. I was like, okay, this one, which one, white, okay, iPhone 12. I want iPhone 12 because iPhone 13 was just being released, so it was very, very, you know. So let me just take iPhone 12 one. So when I paid, my friend just said, what? He opened his mouth. I said, what? Trust me, that was what he works in the bank, and he was not just a junior staff or some. He said, when we got home, he said, guy, please, is there something, a teaching thing I can do part-time, or, you know? I said, guy, you are in the bank already now. You want to come and roach on our own space? I won't give you any link. No link. And I did not give him. But of course, we are friends. But that's the mindset. Remember I told you earlier, I was so scared, like telling people in school, and you know, I'm a teacher. But right now, my friends would call about their kids, and I would have friends even call me to lend them huge amount of money, like, and I'll be, you know, of course, I'll just, guy, you know, I be teacher now. They'll say, come on, leave that one, you know, of course, they'll just like, no, but that was what I always wanted. You know, I'm not there yet. I am not there yet, but I am happy at the traction. I am happy at the progress, and I am happy at the value I have, created for myself. And even it comes with taking jobs now with my employers. The confidence is so, so it's like me stating what I want to earn. Yeah, it's just I'm so confident, like, because I know what I am bringing to the table. Like when couples say, "What are you bringing to the table?" I know what I am bringing. I am bringing the total package, and all of this total package didn't come easy. it took years of labor building on it, you know, sharpening, building, and not so many things along the way, you know, in the bit of, you know, trying to, you know, create that, you know, brand and value for my life as a teacher, you know, trying to do that. And I am thankful to God. It really did. It paid out. It paid out, you know. We're still on that road. The journey is still, you know, we're not there yet. But looking back, you know, looking back, I am happy, you know, at what I have been able to, you know, do for myself and for the teaching space. I have a niece. I have a niece. You know, she got into school recently, and when we were all, you know, we wanted to make it a family thing. Like, what does this? What does this? Well, because of course, we all want our younger generation to, you know, be better than we are. People, you know, our children. So we all had a family meeting, and she's actually my first niece or nephew going into the higher institution. So she's the first in the family, my eldest. So it was like a family thing that, what will this girl, you know, we all saw, it was a round table, what the mom and dad wanted, you know, it was because, and then she surprised us all. She wanted to go into teaching, you know. I was just cool. I was just, you know, I was just smiling. She wanted to go into teaching. The mom, well, the mom could not see anything because the mom is my sister. And of course, she sees what I do now, you know, for myself, for the family. And so she was, but her daughter wanted to go into teaching. She really wanted. And, you know, I asked why, you know, I was like, what do you want to go into? She told me she likes what I do and what I am doing, and she wants to do it and do much more. And I was like, wow, if that is not motive, I don't know. That's just what I wanted to be able to, you know, encourage. Yeah.
Like,
Ma'am.
I don't want this conversation to end. Like, I just want to keep listening to you. But we have used so much time, right?
I know.
I don't know if you would like to come up again. I can bring you after next week. Yes.
It will be my pleasure.
Continue this conversation.
It will be my pleasure.
We need to continue this conversation because this is just part one. So everybody that is here, this is part one. You can see that I just told him, start the journey. Tell us how you started, and he has been on and on. I did not even want to interrupt him. Like, I didn't want to stop him, but because we are far behind time, like we've taken so much of our time today, we will continue this conversation. Trust me, Mr. Akin, you will come up first Saturday in January 2024. So that we'll continue this conversation and start our year with this conversation.
I would love that.
We are like so full of experience. Like, thank you everyone for joining. Someone was saying she would like to know how to connect with teachers and all that.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, there are lots of teachers here. Just start following everybody here.
And let me quickly add this. Let me quickly add this. The narrative is changing. So many teachers, you know, breaking boundaries right now. Like, so I think this person has no fear. Just type on Instagram, LinkedIn, teacher, you would see a lot. I don't know, or just, there's so many now. So many. Yeah. So I think this person is covered. You know, so many people to grab inspiration from.
Thank you, Mr. Akin. I can't ask you to give us final words today because today is not the final. We are continuing this conversation.
By all
And
means.
truly, when we continue, then we can now ask for final words. But for today, this is part 1, part 2 to come.
By all means.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you.
Pleasure is
Thank you for your
mine.
time. Thank you for sharing of yourself. We look forward to the part 2.
Miss Mary, someone said, please, can you ask him my question? I don't know
Yes,
what the
it was
question
the question that asked about connecting with teachers.
Oh, yes, yes. So she can follow you, and from our feeds, she would get to meet a lot of other teachers. I see some here, the Witty Educator. So, and then I know they are open to answering questions, mentorship, anything. She just reaches out to them. So I think it's an easy way out for her from here.
Yeah. All right. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you so much.
So the
Thank
next
you so
time
much.
we are going to have Mr. Akin is going to be on YouTube Live. From January, we are moving to YouTube Live. We are leaving Instagram Live to YouTube Live. That's the next step.
That's fantastic.
That is where we are going to have the part 2 of Mr. Akin.
Wow.
So if you want to continue this conversation, I'll be uploading this part 1 on my YouTube channel, Mary the Millennial Teacher. Just go and search for it on YouTube. You see this part 1, and then we'll continue the part 2 in January. This conversation is not over yet. We continue in 2 weeks' time. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Mr. Akin. Really enjoyed your stories and your journey. And this is just the part 1. We've not heard all of it. Till we continue again next time. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. Please invite us to come and eat rice and chicken.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah, take care.
All right.